What is going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today, we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics, and we are going to continue our coverage over the Shadowland event. Now, Shadowland was an event that Marvel did back in 2010 that was all about Daredevil, because Marvel felt like it was about time to give that man his own event. Unfortunately, it was Shadowland. Now, Shadowland storyline goes, Daredevil had joined the Hand, this evil ninja organization, and he was hoping to turn that group into a force of good. Unfortunately, he was affected by their demonic being they praise, the Beast. And so now he has turned evil, and he has come back to Hell's Kitchen and turns Hell's Kitchen into Shadowland, this crazy ninja playground basically. With that being said, you now have other heroes trying to find a way to stop him. So now, with Daredevil number 508 and 509, we finally see some other characters coming into Shadowland and trying to think of a way to save Matt Murdock before he is completely taken over by the Beast, the demonic being that gives the Hand their powers. I do hope you enjoy today's video. So with these tie-ins, they actually focus more on the supporting characters of Daredevil rather than the character himself. So characters like Dakota North, who became an interesting love interest to Matt Murdock, Becky Blake, who is a lawyer that works in the same office as Matt Murdock, and finally Foggy Nelson, the best friend of Matt Murdock. Except the problem is they are watching the film of Daredevil killing Bullseye. Except you have Foggy Nelson telling Dakota North and Becky Blake that they should talk to him and hopefully they can help him snap out of whatever trance he is in right now. This is when we pick up with Daredevil himself, who is right now swinging around Shadowland since Daredevil had turned Hell's Kitchen into Shadowland. But then he is confronted by White Tiger, who tells him that her and the rest of the Hand have cut off access to New York on the ground, which of course pleases Daredevil. Now, White Tiger is a character who inherited the White Tiger amulet that gives her powers from Hector Alea. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But he was the original White Tiger. She was killed by the Hand and brought back to life to be part of the Hand organization. Now she is concerned for Daredevil because he just killed the one person who has caused so many problems for Daredevil over the years. Of course, you have Daredevil say no and then leaves to continue his work in Shadowland, then states he has more plans for New York's future. We then pick up with Detective Klutz, who was this close friend of Dakota North. Anytime Dakota North needed some kind of information or inside man in the police department, he was the guy she went to. Detective Klutz then slowly built a bond with Daredevil as well, but with him being a police officer, he tells us that with Daredevil taking over Hell's Kitchen and turning it into the Shadowland, police are kind of being forced out because it is Daredevil law now, and man's law doesn't really work in Daredevil's territory, so it is him having a hard time adjusting to this new time in Hell's Kitchen. We skip back over to Daredevil, well, really a random man who is walking around Hell's Kitchen and minding his business. That basically this is the book going to show us what happens when you break the law in Hell's Kitchen. When a group of thugs try to beat down on this old man, well, you have Daredevil and a group of the Hand appear and come in to protect this man from the group of thugs. Except when they beat down on these thugs, once done, they make them examples of what happens when you break the law in Shadowland. You get beaten down badly and hung up with a sign to tell the world what you did. Now getting back to Dakota North and Foggy Nelson, we see them trying to get into Shadowland, but the problem is that it is blocked on the ground level. We were told that earlier by White Tiger. Speaking of White Tiger, she does appear and tell Foggy Nelson and Dakota North that they have to leave. Of course, you have Dakota North telling her that they need to talk to Daredevil, they need to tell him something important, except of course White Tiger says no and tells them to leave before she has to kill them. We then see Daredevil walking around his Shadowland fortress, just getting some update from one of his ninjas, except he begins to have some kind of headache, and we saw this in the Shadowland Elektra book, that something is bothering him, but then we see him go through some intense pain and then tears half his mask off, making it seem that something has taken over his body. We then switch back to Dakota North and Foggy Nelson, who are driving down the road and trying to think what they should do next. Except while they are driving around, a random ninja shoots an arrow to take out the car. Car flips over, they crash, Dakota North has to pull out Foggy Nelson, but then they get confronted by a group of ninjas, which they make it seem that they are not part of the hand. So the question is, who do they work for? We then pick up with Master Izo, who is right now in some place called the Wall of the Chast, and we see him talking to someone, how he has been trying to call this person to help him save Matt Murdock, or at least stop Matt Murdock. Now we know who he is talking to because we covered Shadowland Elektra, and of course it is Elektra who he is talking to, since she used to be the love interest to Daredevil and also used to be the leader of the Hand, and it seems that she's the only one who could stop him and save the day. Skipping over to the Fortress of the Hand, where we have Elektra and Master Izo both trying to break into this fortress. The reason why is they are hoping to learn more why the Hand are trying to use Daredevil so much for. They don't really have a plan to stop the Hand here, just trying to gather some kind of information, also kill some warriors as well. Once they are inside the fortress, they overhear the snake root. Again, we don't get the chance to learn much about the snake root. What we can gather here is that the snake root is basically 3 high-level members of the Hand who are really hoping Daredevil does get the beast inside of him. They have more plans for Daredevil once Daredevil has been infected by the beast completely. Once Elektra and Master Izo overhear the snake root group talk to White Tiger through some magic means, they get the idea how serious everything is about to be. Also, there is an artifact that I'm not going to pronounce that has been stolen, and we are going to see that item bring another character in this event. Getting back to Dakota North and Foggy Nelson, they are being surrounded by some ninjas after the ninjas had wrecked their car. Now at first, we couldn't really tell if this group of ninjas actually work for the Hand or not. Well, we find out here because when Dakota North goes to shoot some of them to defend herself against them, the way they die like members of the Hand. See, when a ninja from the Hand is killed, they just turn to dust automatically. So when Dakota North kills a few of them, well, they turn into dust. Either way, you have Dakota North realize that there are too many of them for her to handle on her own. Lucky for her, when she is about to die by this group of ninjas, she is saved by Luke Cage and Iron Fist. This gives us a few pages where we watch the two of them beat down on this group. Once you have them being able to beat these guys, you have Luke Cage and Iron Fist ask why in the world they were being attacked by the Hand for. Dakota North tells them she has no idea why. Foggy Nelson thinks there is no way that Daredevil would send a group of ninjas after them because they are his friends. But Luke Cage and Iron Fist think it would be best for them to talk to Matt Murdock. The next few pages of this storyline, we see Elektra and Master Izo running out of the base of the hand. They were caught, so that is why they have to run away, which makes Elektra mad. Master Izo told her that he had a secret route that should have got them in and out of the place. But of course, that did not work. But once they cross this bridge that is just a tree connecting the two sides, Master Izo tells Elektra that he is going to cut the tree so that it will let Elektra get away. It is him just sacrificing himself for the chance to stop Matt Murdock. Another character that gets involved in this event is a lady named Typhoid Mary, who is a pyrokinesis, meaning she can just start fires with her mind. She has been a Daredevil villain for a long time, and also she has personality problems. We saw her briefly in our Brian Michael Bendis Daredevil run, where she went around working for the Kingpin, but this time she wants to work for Daredevil. He can't believe this because to him, she has so many different personalities that it makes it hard for him to trust her. Also that they have fought so many times in the past. But this is when she tells us that thanks to something called the Zero Room, her personality disorder is gone. So it is her telling Daredevil that she is okay now and she can help. She also wants to protect Hell's Kitchen. To close on this video, we pick up with Dakota North and Foggy Nelson going to some safe house that was given to her by Detective Klutz. This is them talking about getting some kind of help for Daredevil, more of like an intervention to be more exact, except when they look outside, well, there was some kind of explosion outside that was near Shadowland's fortress, of course being where Daredevil is staying at. And we have no idea what that explosion was, but of course, we are going to learn about that later on in our Shadowland coverage. But this is where we are going to end today's video, so please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's video.